Okay, good evening, everybody in the United States and elsewhere where it is evening, and good morning to India. Today, we are very, very fortunate to have a live virtual tour coming to us from many hours away. It is 9 o'clock in the morning in India, and today we are being joined in Jodhpur by our friend Chetan. Good morning, Chetan.
Hello, everyone. Good morning from Jodhpur. That's where I am.
So today what Chetan is going to do, he's going to take us around the fort. This is the big fortress in his hometown of Jodhpur in India. And then he's going to go for a walk down into the center of town. So I'm going to just turn it over to you, Chetan, okay? So I'm going to disappear and you go for it and have fun. And if you need me, just holler, okay?
Sure. Thanks, Sarah. Hello, everyone. Good morning from India, Blue City. A land is river sailing, and this is the majestic Mehrangarh Fort, standing tall right on the top of about 400 feet cliff. Testimony to legends of tales, both old and modern. And here I am, the person who would be taking you across the town and would be sharing with you some of the most interesting information about this place. So off we go. Am I audible to you all?
Absolutely.
Things are visible?
Yep, looking great.
Okay. To this world, Jors, the riding breeches that were invented somewhere around 1890. It's also the city in local dialect we call Apnayat. In local dialect, Apnayat means affection and hospitality by mellifluous souls of the inhabitants of the town, ever welcoming, always smiling, and would want to be friends of life for you in no time. But this is also referred to as the Blue City, not because the skies behind me are blue, but because of the houses, a lot of houses which are painted blue as per the old traditions. But to share with you, the blues of our city are nullified, as you say, the blues of life, they are nullified by the resplendent joys and jubilant lifestyles of our people. So the blues actually does not really reflect, and it's a literal terminology. I'm going to take you on a walk. So let's start talking a little bit about this majestic fort here. Mehrangarh, as it is called, the Sun Fort, standing tall on this cliff, as you could see, facing east. Very, very bright day today. A perfect photo op for people who are here. A lot of people already up here. A testimony to the chivalry and bravery of the rulers of Jodhpur. About 562 years back, on 12th May 1459, the foundations of this imposing fort were laid down. And ever since, the times, events, influences, traditions have chiseled out the colossal proportions of this magnificent building, also referred to as the Citadel of the Sun. And looking to its giant proportions, the very popular Rudyard Kipling said, the work of giants and angels. We keep walking. As it's morning time, you would notice the people have come here, the regulars who are busy in cleaning the premises. One good thing, with due safety regulations in place, the fort as a monument has now been open to visitors, as you could see. A lot of people already going in. Security up is there, beefed up, and everyone is ensuring that they are properly sanitized. They're checking the fever, as well as everyone would be having masks. So all the precautions in place, making sure that whosoever comes here feels absolutely safe. Look at that entrance, the grand entrance of the fort. If you can focus it. That's one of the main entrance to the fort, and like this, about 7 gates would lead us into the various sections reflecting historical details, intricate carvings, lavish courtyards, section by section, as we move from one gate to another to yet another one. The fort also houses one of the best laid museums and is presently in a very, very able hands of the curator, Mr. Kearney Singh. So at the onset, my gratitude and thanks to Mr. Kearney Singh for giving us this permission. So from here, I'll show you another hillock. A very small temple lies uphill there. Have a look at this. We are right at the gateway of desert. So acacia happens to be one of the main flora. And notice the rock structure. This is very, very commonly occurring rock. We call it Jodhpur sandstone. Pretty much rose or red in color. Very, very soft, and it renders itself to very, very fine carving. Okay, from here, let's descend down.
So Chetan, if I can ask you a couple of questions. I'm wondering, first of all, it looks beautiful. Is it hot today?
Sorry?
How is the weather today? I'm curious. It looks beautiful.
Weather is very, very good. It's bright, sunny. You could see very nice blue skies, and it's perfect. It's not very hot, not very cold. It's absolutely picnicking weather out here, and more so because it's Sunday, so we can expect a lot of people up here.
So you also mentioned that this fortress is owned by a private family. You said it's the Maharaja. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. So
who is a Maharaja? I don't know who that is.
The founders of Jodhpur, the royal family, still owns this particular fort. The present Maharaja is His Highness Gaj Singh Ji. This happens to be the private property, and it's been managed and run by a private trust with royal family members as the trustees. Mehrangarh Museum Trust looks after, and the curator himself also happens to be from the royal family itself. So it happens that across Rajasthan before the independence, there were about 19 princely states. Each one of these states were individual independent kingdoms. They were ruled by different rulers of different clans. Coming to western part, Jodhpur, that has a different set of rulers of clan. The 1459, on 12th May, the foundations were laid, and thereafter, series after series, the addition on different sections of the forts were done by the contemporary rulers. Up till today, the same royal family owns and manages this property, have opened the gates for visitors to come and have a look at how lavish and august the royal lifestyles were during those days.
So Chetan, these days, do people, does the royal family have any power in the government now, or are they just, something from the
India,
past? Yeah.
Since 15th August 1947, when we got independence, everyone is a citizen of the country. So they're all equal in a way. But all these royal families, they continue in many a place, continue to own all these properties, palaces, forts, citadels, right? They do not really have powers as such, but yes, they are very, very important part and parcel of our government's policy forming bodies, because the local population in each area where all these families are still living, they still extend the same respect to royal families, because they have been doing a lot of welfare work for people at large, and in general they were also the saviors of their lands. Presently, in most places, especially if I could put down the Jodhpur family in particular, they have been great patrons in giving preservation, conservation, and helping the local communities in various aspects of life. As such, they command a natural, spontaneous respect from one and all across, not only from Jodhpur, but from across country. So much so that the present Maharaja, His Highness Gat Singh Ji, was also ambassador to Trinidad and Tobago way back. He's been one of the very, very active participant in many an international organization when it comes to preservation or conservation, especially of heritage and historical aspects. So yes, they do command their own respect and they have kind of a power in their own way. But because some of them have been elected as members of parliament in various places, they are very much part and parcel an important figure in policy forming with the government. But as such, no such power, because now India happens to be independent country. All right, here you see. So let's get going. Let's now descend down to a steep downhill where probably once, couple of 100 years back, 300 years back, say 100 years back, the caravan would commute up and down the steep downhill. Notice the flooring. This is the same local stone which is found in this town. And as I go a little bit down, I'll turn back and I'll show you the spectacular architecture. If I can zoom in, you would notice that the rocky terrain seamlessly blends with the man-made structure of perfect symmetry. Notice the high rising wall. Right on the top, you see windows and balconies. In the local dialect, we call them jharokha, 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 a balcony protruding out for people to see. The entire wall, some of these walls are about 36 feet or 36 meters in height. And the entire fort lies on this plateau, which is about 120 meters up and spread over almost about say 5 kilometers area. You could see the bastions. And if on some tour someday, if we do the tour of Mehrangarh from inside, we walk right up to the ramparts, you'd see a lot of cannons have been placed up there. And from there, it offers a magnificent bird's eye view of the entire blue city underneath. So Mehrangarh is an instantaneously recognizable monument, not only for Jodhpur, but for Rajasthan and for India. So now, off and on, it offers us breathtaking views of the city. So this probably would be the path where traders, courtiers, local people, performers, families to meet the royals. As you could see, some of the stone is worn out by time, and that offers stunning views of the blue city underneath. The sun is very, very bright, a bit hazy as well today. May not be able to see entirely very, very clear, but if I could zoom, I hope you are able to see a bit. And look at that bird hovering over there. That's black kite. A few years back, the bastions of Mehrangarh Fort were also the nesting places of vultures. Sadly, they are now on an extinction, critically threatened. Have a look. If I could show you closely. So that's the rocky terrain, the hill, and that's how the wall has been constructed. It goes up, and that's the wall. So just imagine the workmanship, and we're talking not of yesterday or today, more than 200, 300, 400 years back. The view could be a little shaky because I'm descending down, walking down cautiously. I don't really want to do any roller skating at this point of time. If I can show you yet another view. And that's how it looks like.
So Chetan, what is the best time of year to visit if we're to go to India? Because I know it's a little tricky planning a trip to India because of the monsoon season. When do you suggest people come?
I would rather say post-monsoon, which is September onwards. September onwards till say March or April, the best time when you have very good weather condition, where you have lot of fairs and festivals which are being celebrated in most corners. And especially that is also the time when we have the variety of crops producing flowers, fruits, vegetables. So for those who would want to really devour or gluttonize local cuisine, you have everything available. There's another thing, people actually do not realize India, and for that matter, Jodhpur, yes, it's a really, really hot weather-wise, hot destination, and the temperatures can literally soar up to say 47, 48 degrees during May and June. But then it is also the place where we have sizzling, shivering cold when it is December and January. And sometimes the day temperature would be about 7 and 8 degrees, but the nights in some places could be really, really cold. So to balance it all off, October, November, December would be the best seasons. Still say March, because March, that is a place, there's a time when we have one of the most colorful of festivals, Holi. In continuation to that, starting from August itself, this particular region gets ensnared in a lot of festivity and jubilations because of legions of cultural fairs and festivals, which literally encompass the lifestyles of people, their day-to-day things they are doing. We celebrate literally everything with which we live.
Well, I think if even the Indian population that I meet when I'm there is half as enthusiastic as you are, it's going to be incredible, right?
You could actually take me as a random sampling, an iota of the entire population. So if I'm like that, everyone here is happilycrazy.com.
I like that.
And here is my nephew who is actually offering me the technical support.
Hello everyone, welcome to India. A warm welcome and do visit here.
Aw.
Wonderful place, full of journey. Your journey will be very absolutely will be remembered. And we are going further downstairs. It is very steep here, but we have to be very careful and rest. And we are enjoying. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. Okay.
He's the same age as my son, so.
Oh, really? Okay. Iske son ko hello kar do.
Hello.
He's saying hello to your son. And here we enter. Do you see the indigo blue? Let me come pretty close. So that's from where the blue house part starts. And that's the reason why Jodhpur is also referred to as the blue city. I hope everyone is able to see the blue city and notice the gentleman. This gentleman actually happens to be one of the staff from the fort. Ram Ram Sa, Ram Ram Sa, a good friend of mine as well. And that's where he lives. That's his house. Ram Ram Sa. That's her wife. And Ram Ram Sa.
Ram
That
Ram.
is the Ram Ram Sa is the affectionate greeting by the local people.
Ram Ram Sa.
आपको राम राम कह रही है हमारी मैडम. I've conveyed your greetings, Sarah. And she's reciprocating to both of us for her greeting. And here we have the granddaughter. See? What a great photo of. Hello.
Sa.
Hello. So enjoying Sunday? Sunday का मजा आ रहा है? Like to share something really interesting and cultural, innately ingrained into us. This is the entrance, and that is very, very common entrance, as you notice in most of our houses. But what is typical is notice this string of lemon and chilies, 7 chilies with 1 lemon, along with the coconut. And the leaves that you see, they are the dried leaves of a tree which is indigenously found here called neem, N-E-E-M, neem, margosa. Right. Now, this is kind of a mascot of good luck. We would be hanging it every Saturday. This would be changed, especially the string with lemon, chili, and coal. We believe it bodes away evil spirits and brings good luck and prosperity unto not only the family, but whosoever enters through the door. And whenever we have festivals, marriages, birth of a child, any other occasion, the families take due effort in getting these hanged and also decorating the houses. Bye bye. So we take their leave and we carry on. Namaste. So Ram Ram Sa and Namaste, yet another hello or farewell. Also,
Namaste.
Namaste.
Ram, 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 ram.
Thank you, sir. Ram Ram. America. The handprint.
This is very nice country of America. This is very nice country of America. India best friend. And we have everybody America hello.
Absolutely. So here is a hello from this gentleman to everyone up there in the US.
USA, love you.
We all say hello.
Hey.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. So that's a religious symbol of the trident, the goddess is worshipped, and that is a handprint from the lady of the house by henna. See, these are all small practices that are still prevalent and in vogue in every single family. Look at the color. There's yet another small temple, but look at this. Do you see the archway? The arch is a typical Hindu style of arch at the top of the gate, which is having niches. It's not plain arch. That's a very, very typical. And this blue color happens to be a very old Shiva temple, closed right now, would be open soon. But this blue color is rendered with the help of indigo, common dye. The reason that these houses are blue, olden times, we had the caste strata that was in practice. So right at the 4 different groups of the caste system, we had the priest or the Brahmin class who would be right at the top echelon of the caste strata. So all these Brahmins, they would be painting their houses blue. We use indigo to paint this house blue with lime. But at the same time, some of our major gods, the male gods and deities, are also represented in blue colors. So one of the reasons that the houses are blue in color. Presently, there's no really restriction that you have to paint your house blue, and people can paint their houses in any colors. But the practicality of this color also happens to be that it renders insulation in very hot weathers. The interior of the house would be rendered pretty cool as compared to any other color. And here we have this gentleman who's opened a street food cafe. Let me show it. So as you see, tourism to very, very remote areas like this have really helped in flourishing the local communities, and they have got opportunities in opening alternative sources of livelihood up here. But this year, sadly, has been different. I would say this would be pretty much the same for everyone all over the world, for that matter. Okay, my brother and my nephew. So we continue. Look at this stop. Again, we are walking very slowly. And here we go. But that is the brave biker. Here he goes.
Chetan, somebody who is watching with us today commented that everyone is so delightful. And that seems to be my experience too with this. Is everybody just delightful in India?